Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is my favorite series to do, where I compare the two hotels and casinos that I stayed at on my most recent trip. In this video, we're going to compare the D to the Downtown Grand. Both are on Fremont Street, and both are a great time. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. I'm releasing this video on Christmas just so you have something to watch after you open all your presents. You probably received gift cards and cash galore, and you're ready to book your next trip to Vegas. So this video is going to help you determine which one to stay at, the D or the Downtown Grand. Let's get into this. So to help determine which of these casinos was my favorite on this trip, we're going to use these 10 factors. Now I did have to change up the factors a little bit on this one. We'll get to that here at the end, noise. But anyway, the number one is location, 2 is room, Wi-Fi, vibe, very important, drink service, very important, casino, food options, service, I include, this used to be 2, but service and check-in and out is now 1, features of the properties, and then noise. That's the one thing in downtown, there's more noise downtown versus the strip. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the noise, what to expect, if you like noise, don't like noise. Hey, it's Vegas, it's fun, there's gonna be some noise, but let's talk about noise. All right, so let's get into the location piece. All right, so to help us determine which of these hotels has the best location downtown, I drew us a map. Let's go over a few points on this map, and then we'll determine which one has the best location. So this is a drawing of downtown. We start off with Plaza here at the far north side. Plaza looks directly down. The Fremont Street Experience is green, represents the canopy over the Fremont Street Experience. And you essentially have the Golden Gate, the Golden Nugget, the Four Queens, the D, which is where we stayed here for 2 nights. And then you will keep walking, you got shops and like Walgreens and restaurants and bars all in here. And then if you get down to the end here, you got El Cortez, and working your way back up, you got shops, Fremont, Binions, Circa takes up the whole block. Then you come over here, you got Main Street Station, the Cow, and the Downtown Grand, which is where we stayed here for 1 night. And then right over here next to Downtown Grand is the Mob Museum, which I didn't get to visit, but I plan on one of these days. And then I also wanted to point out a few other things on the map. So Downtown Grand's restaurants that they list as part of their hotel, they own them, but they're not actually in the hotel. They're kind of here on this block right here. So you have Pizza Rock, and then I think it's Hogs and Heifers Bar. And then there's 3 restaurants in here. So they're not actually inside the Downtown Grand, but they're right across the street. The other thing I wanted to mention was lots of good bars and restaurants here in this quadrant. And then on Fremont Street, there are several, music performance stages, for concerts. One of them is here in between the Circa. So we got like a concert stage here, and I know we have a concert stage here. There's at least 2 concert stages. There might be 3. Probably should review that before this video. But anyway, and then the zip line goes all the way down from here. You can just zip line to the end of Fremont Street and get off here, somewhere in there. A lot of people are doing that. So there's a lot of action here on Fremont Street underneath the canopy. All these all these casinos have bars that open onto the experience, and just packed with people. A really great time. Great place. Can't go wrong with the location of hardly of any of these. So we're gonna have to get really picky on determining which one has the best location. One more point about this I forgot to mention in the last segment is for scale, or just to tell you the size of this. From the El Cortez to the plaza is half a mile. Google says it takes 10 minutes to walk. I didn't actually ever walk it just straight, but I'll trust Google is correct. And to give you a comparison, on the strip, if you're looking at MGM, and then the next hotel is Planet Hollywood. This is a 0.7 mile walk, and it takes 13 minutes according to Google. So on the strip, you would just get from MGM to Planet Hollywood in the same amount of time as you can get from El Cortez to the plaza. And here you go between, what is that? That's 11 or so casinos, plus a lot of restaurants. And here, in between MGM and Planet Hollywood, there's no other casinos. There are, restaurants and eateries and gift shops and whatnot. But the strip is like 2.7 miles. Downtown is half a mile. So that could lean into your decision on, do you want to go downtown or not to hang out and see a lot of places in a small amount of time, or the strip has, you're going to do some walking on the strip. So let's talk about location and how I'm going to rank these. I'm going to start off with a score of 8 on everything. And then do you earn more points or less points? Now let's get into the location. Now overall, location is not near as important downtown as it would be on the strip. It's a much smaller confined space, but still gotta have which one has the best location. So let's talk about the D. The D is in the heart of Fremont Street. It doesn't get any more central. You can walk everywhere very quickly. So I am going to have to give the D a perfect 10 on location. The Downtown Grand is 1 block off of Fremont Street Experience. Okay? But the reason you go down there is to stay on, is to hang out on Fremont Street Experience, right? That's where the party's at. So I'm gonna have to leave it as an 8. It doesn't earn any extra points. It is closer to the Mob Museum, but it's not worth an extra point to get there. So Downtown Grand gets an 8 on location. Any hotel casino downtown is within 10-15 minute walk of any place you want to go downtown. So that is the location score. So let's see which of these two have the best room and Wi-Fi. Now my room at the D was the standard double queen room. The 2 beds were very comfortable. The one I slept on, super comfortable. But the room itself was very basic. And it just had the beds, 1 nightstand in between them, and then a TV sitting on top of a chest of drawers to put your stuff. So there was no side tables or side chairs of any kind in the room. The bathroom, though, it was remodeled, right? The bathroom was very nice, and what I loved about that room was the bathroom. The shower, I actually loved it. The shower glass partition is like a 3/4 of a wall of glass, and it kept the water out of the floor of the bathroom much more than the Downtown Grand. But the room at the D, if you're starting with an 8, it didn't do anything for me as far as earning extra points. So I'm gonna give, it didn't lose any points either, right? You expect that kind of room downtown, and there was nothing in the room that made it lose points. So I'm going to give the room itself an 8. If the bathroom hadn't been so nice, I might have knocked a point off, but the bathroom was really nice. Now the Downtown Grand room, it was a king. It was actually a premier king, $56 a night, and this one was $26 a night. So anyway, the Downtown Grand room, it was much more equipped. It had a side table, a side chair, it had a desk, it had an entertainment center with a TV, lots of space for your stuff. The restroom was very nice, although the shower only like had a half wall of glass, and quite a bit of water did get on the floor, so you're kind of cleaning that up every time, which was a downfall. But I'm gonna have to give the downtown grand room a 9. It might have got a 10 had the shower been as nice as the D, because other than that, the room was great itself at downtown Grand. So now Wi-Fi, which is growing in importance, right? With everyone posting to their social media and YouTube accounts, you want good, strong Wi-Fi. Both of these hotels offered a premium package of Wi-Fi for like additional $5 or something like that. But I just got their standard Wi-Fi that was free. And my Wi-Fi was no issue at either place. I didn't have any login issues. Once you were logged in, you were logged in. But I would say at the D, only that first day's video, it did take like an hour and a half, which is longer than normal. Usually takes me about 35 to 45 minutes to load my videos out there. And that first morning at the D, I didn't get to go to breakfast till like 10 because I spent like an hour and a half doing my vlog update. So the D, I'm just going to leave it at an 8, and the downtown Grand, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to give it a 9 because one of them has to be a winner, and the downtown Grand's Wi-Fi was better than the D's overall. Let's keep going. So on to the vibe and drink service at each of these casinos. Now this was my first trip to stay downtown the whole time, and the vibe at both of these was very good. I didn't take a nap this trip. I always take a midday afternoon nap just to get ready for the night, but down there I felt the energy was just too great. I didn't want to take a nap. I just stayed doing something the whole time. So the D vibe piece, I'm gonna put it at a 10, because the D, that's where I spent 2 full days, and I didn't even think of taking a nap. I just stayed in the casino or walking around. The music, it pumps you up. As we'll get into later here, next to drink service, I mean, they just keep bringing you drinks. Why go to bed, right? Why take a nap? Why stop the party, right? And the downtown Grand, the same vibe happened there, but I would say it wasn't on the level as the D. The D, I really didn't want to leave the casino. I was having a good time. Drinks were flowing. Wasn't losing, left and right. But I didn't lose much of the downtown Grand either until the last day. But as far as vibe is concerned, the D gets a 10, and I'm gonna give downtown Grand a 9 on the vibe piece. Both of them had excellent vibe. Now in drink service, again, staying on the strip, I don't know if it's different or not, but there's more beers to be had downtown. And maybe this was Christmas, close to Christmas, kind of a slower time. But, I always have a beer in the refrigerator that I buy from, Walgreens or something similar like that. But I hardly ever had to go use it. I actually gave it to a friend that I met out there upon checkout because I still had a lot left over because I was getting so many downstairs at both of these. So the downtown Grand, one morning, I was down there and I had probably gamed for like 2 hours without getting a drink. So I actually walked up to the bar and said, hey, can I get a beer? And I was going to buy it. And he said, well, our, cocktail waitress hadn't, got to work yet, so I'll just get you one. So he gave me one free, right? But I did have to go ask for it. That's the only time that I was wanting a drink and hadn't got one. But other than that, later that trip at the D, we sat up at the bar for about an hour and a half, just talking, with some friends that we had met. And the bartender come up and he's like, our policy is to have a beer in your hands every 15 minutes. So yeah, these places here, they give out the beers, and that's what we go to Vegas for, to have fun and drink. So I'm gonna give the D a perfect 10, because at one point I think I had 3 beers sitting at my machine, just lined up, ready to go. And then the downtown Grand, I'm gonna have to give them a 9, only because the one time I was there, they didn't have a cocktail waitress on staff. She hadn't showed up yet, and they apologized, and the bartender gave me a beer for free, so they made up for it, right? But yep, that's our score. 10 at the D and 9 at Downtown Grand for both the vibe and drink service. Just don't get much better. So next up is the casino and the food options at the casinos. And I'm talking at the resort themselves. On the location piece, I mentioned here at Downtown Grand, they have restaurants across the street. I don't count that. I don't care if you own it. I want it inside the building for it to be counted on this little segment. All right, so at the casino, at both of these places, had a great time, like in the vibe piece. Both had a great vibe. But one has to be the winner, so which one is the best? The Downtown Grand has a lot of good things going for it. It's very compact, all on one floor. There's a central bar, and all around that little bar is the casino. So it's a great homey feeling inside that casino. The D, it's a little bit bigger, has 2 floors, and the winning in both of these, I had more wins than losses. At the end, I had the last day at Downtown Grand, I lost my last little budget there that day, but still had a lot of fun. But just as far as the casino itself, which one do you want to spend more time in? I found it being the D. So I'm gonna have to give it a 9. It's not gonna be a perfect 10, but just talking strictly casino, nothing else. The D I found had a better casino. Now the Downtown Grand, I'm not gonna knock it any points. I'm gonna give it an 8 because one has to be a winner. But the Downtown Grand casino was great as well. Now food options. This is the biggest area of possible improvement for all places downtown is there's just less options. If you're staying on the strip, you're used to having these resorts having, I don't know, 8, 15 restaurants to choose from, right? The D has 3 on property. A little Coney dog place, they have you some hot dogs. They have a steakhouse, and they have a McDonald's, which I kind of thought was cool, but I was like, I'm not eating a McDonald's on a vacation. And they don't have anything for breakfast at the D. They do, they both have a coffee shop, and you can get you a little, sandwich of some sort, but I want more than that, right? When I'm in Vegas, I want a big breakfast. So both places didn't have a place for breakfast. But what did Downtown Grand have? They have Freedom Beat, which is a restaurant, but it was like not open till like 10 o'clock, so they didn't have breakfast either. And then they also have a coffee shop. Okay, so they got a coffee shop with little bagels and whatnot, but they didn't really have a place for breakfast either. But since the D had more options than Downtown Grand, I'm gonna have to give the D the win, but I'm gonna have to give them like 7 points, and Downtown Grand is gonna get 6 points because there're just not that many options, and to get a good sit down breakfast. You got to go to Four Queens, has Magnolias, and then I ended up at Plaza at Hash House A Go-Go, which again, it's a 5-minute walk, it's nothing, right? But just don't expect, a lot of food choices at either of these properties. So how was the service and the features of these properties? Well, let's find out. At the D, I did run into an issue that really wasn't an issue. I don't really care, but I did reserve a Corner King room on their website, and it was $44 a night plus their $29 resort fee. So that's what I had prepaid, I guess, already for, right? Upon check-in, it was not available. I got there late, like 11 o'clock at night, and it wasn't available. So they gave me a just standard double queen room, which was a downgrade, and they told me it was a downgrade. But I was like, well, that's fine. I don't mind. And so they said that they would comp me my resort fees, which was great. So my per night was still $44 a night, but it was without comps, or I'm sorry, without the resort fee. So it actually came out a little ahead. But the service received during that was good. Very friendly. They explained the situation. Sorry, we're sold out of those rooms. Don't have that many of them. Blah 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 blah. So they were very very nice, very helpful about it. But I didn't get the room that I actually reserved. So I'm gonna have to knock them a point for that. So we'll just give them a 7. Outside of that, I had great service from everyone else there that I came into contact with at the D. Now the downtown Grand, uh, it's kind of no service is good service, right? I didn't need any service upon check-in. Everything went smooth. Check out, everything went smooth. The casino staff and everyone you come in contact was normal, right? Nothing above and beyond. So I'm just have to give downtown Grand an 8 here because nothing said it like exceptional service or anything, right? But I would say the downtown Grand service overall was better than the D, only because of the D my room wasn't available. So next is features of the property. This is important for a lot of people, right? What's at your property? A lot of people just like to hang out at the property itself. Well, the D, they do have a pool, but it's like a Motel 6 pool. I don't know, like rectangular in shape with like 6 feet of concrete around it on all sides. So like there's hardly even room for a lounge chair. A very basic pool. The downtown Grand, on the other hand, has a nice pool deck. It's like on the 3rd or 2nd floor of over the casino. It's a big pool with restaurants and bars and loungers everywhere. So if you want to, as far as features are concerned, these are not strip hotels, but they both do have a pool, and the pool at Downtown Grand is much bigger. Downtown Grand also has a comedy club. The D doesn't have that. The D's casino is 2 levels, and there are more bars at the D itself, right? So there's like 3 or 4 bars at the D, where there's only 1 bar here at Downtown Grand. Well, actually, there's 2. By the reception, there was 1, but it's kind of tucked away. So anyway, you don't expect too many features. It's not like a big mega strip resort with acreages, to put features on. But yeah, so Downtown Grand, since it had a better pool, has a comedy club, I'm gonna give them a 9, right? I mean, I'm not comparing these to strip resorts. And in the D, they're a hotel and casino with 3 restaurants, and they are on Fremont Street, but it's not a feature of the D. It's a feature of that, street. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to probably knock the D1 because give us something unique, right? Give us something unique at your property. So anyway, let's get into the final topic of noise. All right, so talking about downtown, you have to talk about noise. Now, this segment could be a controversial one, right? Because you're like, oh, it's just the old man syndrome or no fun man syndrome or something like that, right? Because the Fremont Street experience is built on noise, okay? So that's why you go downtown, and that is why you have a great vibe downtown. It's just noisy. People are having fun. There are concerts going on all over the place. The Fremont Street experience itself is super loud. The graphics and the music that goes along with it. It's just all the time noisy. So that's why you have a great time and it's fun, right? But at the same time, the noise does get old. There's no escaping the noise. And especially at the D, which the D has the Golden Gate and the Circa and the D. They're all owned by the same property. And that company thinks everyone wants noise at maximum. You walk into those casinos and it's just boom, noise level at 10. So you have to A, know that, and B, if it doesn't matter to you, then this segment is no problem, right? But when you're staying down there for 3 nights and you cannot escape the noise does get old. So I wanted to talk about that. And the D is, I would say, along with Circa and the Golden Gate, are the worst offenders, right? So I'm gonna have to, for me, while it improves the vibe, it does get old. So I'm gonna have to say that the D noise, I'm gonna give it 6 points because it just gets old and you can't escape it. And when you're trying to make a phone call or talk to people, it's like you're hollering at the top of your lungs to do so. The downtown Grand is a perfect combination of right by it without all that extra noise, right? You can't escape the noise. The music that plays in the casino and in the lobby is of a normal tone, you know? So the downtown Grand, I'm not going to give it any extra points because, you know, nothing special about the noise, right? But it doesn't lose points. Uh, you can escape the noise, get away from it, and have more of an enjoyable time versus having kind of a stressed out good time because of the noise. The nights I stayed at the D, when I would walk out onto the strip, onto the Fremont Street Experience, it's just music overload, right? Probably even louder outside the casino. But then you'd like walk into like Fremont Street, or I'm sorry, Fremont, the hotel right across from it, and it's just like your ears get a relaxed feeling. That's how noisy it is down there. So yeah, the noise is definitely loud, but if you don't mind it and you like it and you want to participate in that, then the D is the place for you. So just know that the next time you're on Fremont Street. So now to the moment we've all been waiting for. What's the final score, Casey? Well, first let's go over the cost. My total cost was $88 over 2 nights at the D. It was $44 a night, and then they waived the resort fee, which saved me $58 because they waived those. So over 2 nights, I spent $88 for the room at the D. At the Downtown Grand, it was $56 plus the $29 resort fee. It was $85 a night. So cost me roughly cheaper, you know, it was basically half price of the D, only because really I got $58 saved because of the issue on check-in. So roughly the same. So what was the total score? The D came in at 82 points. And I knew this would be close, and I even struggle on which one I would go to if I was to do this trip again or stay again downtown, because both of them I had a great time at, and you can't go wrong with either one. But the Downtown Grand totaled up, and it was 83. So I was amazed that it came out that close. But yeah, I mean, both properties were great. Both properties are worth revisiting. If you want to avoid the noise, to get away from the noise, the Downtown Grand is going to be your better option. If you want to be in the heart of all the action and you don't care about the noise and you want to be there with all the fun that's going on Fremont Street itself, then stay at the D. So yeah, I hope you learned a lot from this video. I can't wait to go out there again in April is my next trip. I haven't set the exact dates, but my birthday is the 13th and my dad's is the 22nd. And we are going to go out there hopefully together to celebrate his birthday, trying to get my mom to come out there. Who else know, you know, we got a friend that is wanting to come as well. So good time in April. Don't know when yet, but as soon as I lock that in, I'll let you know. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.